like, those people need to be open to understanding that some of this stuff isn't as effective when you take away the assumption that the person is able-bodied and, doing XYZ task to perform XYZ thing. Like, past a certain point, it's frustrating because people treat it like it's an arbitrary, like, well, this just isn't for you type thing, but it's all games that are like that to some extent. So instead of just shutting down the conversation entirely, why aren't we having open and communicative dialogue instead of telling people that they're demanding too much by asking for like basic access to things that other people already find to be exceptionally easy? It's just very frustrating.
I mean, you're talking about capitalism, and we think of capitalism as like, okay, it's money over everything. And that's
Yes.
true, but it's supposed to be money to create more money. And what it
Yes.
tends to do is eat its own tail and
Yes.
cost itself money. Because
Yes.
in making money and cutting costs, they often will turn off people who would ordinarily buy the game. I'm thinking like I like the best example I can think of is restaurants where it's like there's a
Hmm.
restaurant I used to love and I had no problem paying $40 for breakfast there because it was
Yeah.
that good.
Yeah, if
And
it's
then
tasty.
they decided they needed to save money. So they cut like the real whipped cream became spray whipped cream, the like
Mm.
it all
Yeah.
like shifted and it was like we don't go there anymore. So they
Yeah,
lost thousands of dollars because we used to do that once a month was our big treat to go there. And
absolutely.
because they cut corners, we don't go at all. And
Absolutely.
that's, how that goes with like the game developing. And with game developing, I feel like we're dealing with usually it's a very specific person that tends to go into game developing and get a
Yes.
job in game developing and be able to stay there in game
Yes.
developing. And it's usually someone who does not have the emotional life in a family. They have
Yeah,
to be healthy enough to go to a location for hours and hours and be able to sit at a desk. So
absolutely.
we lost that ability. We had a chance during the height of COVID, where everyone was working from home, to continue those channels to allow people who could not be in offices to be a part of the dialogue and conversation. And in gaming world, that would have been incredibly helpful to have more diversity of people there. But I can tell you from Silicon Valley world, at least back in the day, I haven't been in that world for a long time. The misogyny of working in those places was dangerous for
Yeah,
people to be there. So you did not
absolutely.
have a lot of people there because it was not a safe place to be a part of. And if you are a woman in gaming and you stayed there, man, I bow down. You have a will of iron. Congratulations, ma'am. But that was not a fun place to work for a lot of for anyone who did not fit that exact stereotype of someone
Yeah,
who was going to be there.
absolutely. It's almost infuriating because I don't this is going to sound harsh, and I don't mean to communicate is that it upsets me when other people that are disabled or women in gaming or whatever have positive experiences. And that's like one point towards good, right? Like that's the ideal. We hope that everybody going into this industry can be supported and accommodated in the way that they need. But I thought it was very interesting. There was, the Game Awards just happened very recently, and there was this game called Expedition 33, which is a hyper realistic RPG that got a ton of awards. It's very popular this year, and it had great writing, so it was rightfully deserved. But one of the things that was a sticking point for me personally was that the voice actress for one of the main characters she identifies as neurodivergent. I don't know what diagnosis that entails, but that's the way that she identified herself in her speech. And she made some comment like, the gaming world gives neurodivergent people a place to exist. And I think that I found that to be frustrating because that is a very large and sweeping generalization to make about your one individual
Mhm.
experience when by and large the truth of the matter is that neurodivergent people are being abused by the gaming industry. I mean, anybody that works in dev teams can tell you how high of a proportion, like you're saying, it's all people, specifically when they're my age or something, it's people that don't have a significant other, they don't have, they may be either living at home or living on their own or whatever, but they're essentially a single adult person and they manage their own stuff fine, but past a certain point it becomes like they have no life and it's encroaching on their ability to take care of themselves because of how intensive these teams are with how they run timelines and schedules and stuff. Like it's going to be the end of the world if they have to announce that GTA 6 or whatever is going to come out 1 month later than people expect. And it's just really bizarre because I want people to have positive experiences and I want these spaces to open up more. But I also think that there's this trend of tokenization that happens when we kind of pretend like we care about accessibility in that aspect and then use pleasantries like that to cover up very real issues that still permeate the industry.